relaunching it, and the consumer experience is like next level. Like in-app purchases, discuss that list in terms of like you got the studio up and running, and now you're gonna level up the experience.
Well, I always knew that apps was the way to go, the way to distribute content, and it became important for me to learn how to make content on my own. That was the reason why I have a studio. And now everybody and their mother got an app. It's the world's ready for it, but my app is different. Like if I consider my competition Disney and Netflix, the difference between me and them is they don't sell anything. And my dream was always to have this experience of watching and buying at the same time, because generally I usually make everything on everybody that you're watching regardless. I usually make the drink that you're drinking, thank you, the smoke that I'm smoking, the hoodie that I'm wearing, and when you're inspired without leaving that experience, you could actually buy right there, as well as other things. And also, continuing with this point of view, where before it was just me and I felt like I was the only person that thought a certain way, and I've been able to evolve my agendas and focus. So even right now, I'm at Dame Dad Studios, and I haven't been here since my baby been born. It's 3 months.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And, I'm filming curriculum because the OSG is 90 principles, and we are just discussing how to change things, not talk about changing things, but actually doing it. And, having 90 principles to talk to is an ill situation in itself. So I got a principal here, Ra. You're not a principal, but
yes, I am.
You are a principal. I got Harlem in here. I got LA in here. And what we're doing is we're reapproaching, because the world is ended. And the kids ain't in school the same way, and they never will be. And, it works a little bit. It's not completely a failure, but for some people it worked. For some people, in-house school don't work. So we got to figure out a new way, and it's a great time for that. So instead of talking about it, we're going to come down here and make learning entertaining, make it cool, speaking the language in our vernacular, because they teach us their shit in their language. It don't sit right with us. And it's not the right principles for us to survive. It's for us to sort of to fit in, only survive. They don't teach you how to count money because they're not teaching you how to make no money.
Agreed.
So he has a book. Let me see a book. And again, my thing is, people are asking me like, yo, who's the celebrities? The celebrities are the people that are fighting for others. Those are the real superheroes that don't get made famous. You know what I'm saying? Can you answer this and tell Jay? It's a FaceTime, but tell him one thing. I'm going to get right at him. So he got a book, and I'm gonna showcase the books, because you could also get books on the app, but they're written by principals. You understand? And we're doing a curriculum today. She's scared of the dog. We're going to teach her not to be scared of the dog. But we're doing a curriculum today where, I'll be actually teaching a class for those that are inspired by an entrepreneur. It doesn't necessarily mean the teacher got to do the teaching. You know what I'm saying? It's who's going to speak the language that people are going to listen to. Who inspires you the most. So we're going to identify that and reapproach education. That's one of the things. Magazines, we have this group called the Commission that I put together, which is the OSG 90 principles. It's Congressman Carson. It's Senator Eddie Milton. It's Bishop Purnell from the Yacht Squad about education. It's Dr. Chris Pernell, who's on CNN about medicine. It's therapy. The entertainment is going to evolve you, and you'll be able to buy every aspect of it. And we're going to figure out, because we're all trying to get to the same equation, right? We want to be on our own. We want to be independent. Economically, we want to be empowered. But there's a lot of different ways to get there. So we're exploring every single way to get there. Also, every single way to get to education without compromise, the right education. Every path, every way we can get to us recognizing that we don't need them to teach us. We can teach us. That our principals and our, leaders in the community are black that act black, not the ones that shave their mustache and try to fit in. You know what I'm saying? So, that's what's happening on the network, as well as the original programming, the movies, and everything is going to be on steroids now. I'm better at it. You know what I mean? So while I got you there, I'm gonna get you a book. You're gonna get the music. You're gonna be able to live stream. You're gonna be able to buy clothes. You're gonna be able to buy the food I eat. Basically, everything that I am using for myself that's got me where I am today, I'm making accessible to the rest of the world. I'm not gonna hide the plug.
And that fits your brand identity since you got in the hip hop industry, because in essence you've been selling lifestyle.
I've been selling lifestyle. I've been showing people how to leverage your celebrity, build a brand, and make money off the ancillary things. And what I've always tried to teach is residual income. But no one understands it till they broke and old.
Got it. So in terms of like the DGTV being on steroids now, can you talk about or give like the young hustlers and the entrepreneurs the origins of the studio, like when you were first building it out, like for you to say, hey, I'm going to compete with Netflix, Hulu.
Well, what's funny is when I started, they didn't exist. So I was doing this before Netflix. I just was creating new industry. I was, when you're looking for independence, you're always looking for an opportunity to do it another way, a different path to get where you got to go. And that's what I was always looking for. So once the internet hit, I was like, oh shit, no one can stop distribution here. I was looking at it before it was monetized. So even when I was at Rockefeller, I was like, yo, it don't make sense for me to keep outsourcing, making videos, paying $1 million a video. For $1 million a year, I have a whole staff. And I can make my own shit. And a video was always a lost leader, right? $1 million for a video, it doesn't make you a fucking dollar, right? So I'm like, for $1 million, why we don't make movies? And movies will sell the music, I always saw this. I was just waiting for the world to catch up. So I had to start smoking weed and all this other shit and just being really artistic until the world was ready. And the world's ready now. But like I said, now everybody thinks they're up because they got apps and they get the model. It's like, yeah, but you can't sell nothing. And if you do sell something, it's still not going to be yours. So I think I'm the only person that's savvy at making music, at making movies, at making fashion. I'm getting savvy with education because I'm doing the work. I'm getting savvy with politics because I'm doing the work. I'm learning how to teach. Because my thing is, once I learn, I teach. Because I have no gauge. I can't keep my mouth shut about what I know. So as soon as I know it, I teach it. And I give this shit away. I don't even charge it. But if you are like-minded, if you want, because you got to want it. If you want to be free, if you want to be evolved, if you want to be better, if you want to be rich, and rich isn't only financial, it's your health, it's your happiness, it's your dream. Living your dream is rich. Knowing your dream is rich. But a lot of people know other people's dreams. They know what someone else considers a dream, who has never even attained it. And you live for that instead of living for self. But in living for self, which at times you got to be selfish, because if you can't help yourself, you can't help nobody else. So one of the things that I'm very, you can't teach nobody how to be rich if you ain't never been rich. I've had some people give me advice on what to do with money, and I'm like, you ever had money? Why are you telling me what to do with my money? There should be a class on what to do when you have money. Because if you don't know what to do when you make $1 million, you can end up in jail and not even know it. If you don't know what taxes you got to pay and you're accountable, they expect first generation to know how to be rich. If they don't teach you how to be rich in school, how you know? No concept of what it looks like to be rich day to day, or even what a rich problem looks like. I can tell you what they look like. They're all in the paper. Only reason why they're in the paper was because nobody wants me, but I don't even give a fuck. I'm in the right game. You know what I'm saying? When they're reading about you, when they're reading about your business, whether it's up or down, you in the right game. You playing at a professional level. It doesn't matter. And you can't care what people think. You got to go and be a rock star. You don't fold. And you have to identify what you love doing the most your dream and spend so much time on your dream and get so good at it that it becomes your job. And then you never feel like you're working. You know what I'm saying? And then you can help.
I totally agree. In terms of that, the evolving DDTV, what has been the biggest learning lesson for you? Because again, lifting up your own content studio, your own streaming service, like, I'm sure you didn't know everything right away. So just for all the young hustlers out there that are probably considering that space in that category, like, what was the biggest learning lesson in terms of learning that world?
Well, any world I go into, I know that when I'm green, I'm going to go through it. But the only way I can learn is by doing it. But the only way to get better at it is to keep doing it. So you're never good at anything the first time you do it. So if you do something one time, you're all right. Like on the way to the office, I was talking to Nicolette and Hallie, and I'm like, look, they're making records. And I'm like, yo, keep singing that same record. Practice. Because the first time you did it sound good. Imagine the 100th time you do it and you get comfortable and you know the pockets and all that. Like even in making records, it never made sense to me. Like, yo, the record that you hear, the vocal you hear, is usually the vocal that the person just did the first or second time. It's not rehearsed. They can do it so much better after 100 times. So my point is, practice makes perfect. You're never going to do it right the first time. Don't expect life to be easy. Do something you love, so when it's easy, when it's hard, you enjoy the challenge because you love it, because you want to get better. It's like a skateboarder that'll break his thumb 3 times to get a trick because he loves it. He does it for free, but he does it until he gets it right, or her. So you got to do it, and you might break some bones getting there, but if it's a dream, it's worth it.
Copy. Agreed. So it's interesting because you originally launched Creative Control back in the day with the goal of flipping it into a streaming service. How much did the Creative Control brand influence what you're doing with DDTV today?
It's the DNA of what I'm doing. It's the evolved version of it. That was practice. I was practicing then intentionally because the world wasn't ready. So, I was the guy I think I'm the only person that's ever been able to monetize a collective. I was the first one, modern day, since Andy Warhol, with a collective in Tribeca. And I was putting things out at a professional level always. Art galleries, rock and roll, rap, do it yourself, fashion. I had everything popping that was paying the bills, And I've seen people try it. I'm like, unless you really know how to do that, you're not going to make money. It'll be something that will make you feel good. But I was able to show you how to do it yourself, protect culture, and monetize it, and the world followed, even down to the art galleries. All of that was me. And it was me making a conscious decision like, yo, we have to evolve because this is some dumb shit. I had to leave hip hop to influence it.
One of the things that, again, just putting respect on your name, and it shows you're willing to try anything and go after it, is the tech. You were one of the first dudes to go into tech. Rockbox was the MP3 player that you had.
I was going to Apple.
Like tech now, black creatives in tech is the buzzword. Like tech. But when you rewind it like 10, 15 years ago, you came out with your own MP3 player and you were going against iPods. Like, talk about that wave and that move, because, again, you don't get the respect in the timeline.
Well, I appreciate that, because I forgot about Rockbox. Well,
bro,
it was logical. Yeah, when I was watching what was it called? It was the iPod before, right? What's it called now? Yeah, iPod, the original. Yeah, so when I was seeing it, I was like,
iPhone.
You get it, you have to download the music. And I'm like, I make so much music that a person that loves Rockefeller would get it, and I wouldn't even have to, it's all there. So, I started to find factories to make it, but it was every time I had a development, Apple had $1 billion of development. They were just so ahead, I couldn't keep up. But I did try. I'm going to always swing. Like, I tried to make an electric car. I'm going to try. Just like I'm going to try to do this education. We doing it. but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna always go for it because the win is really giving 100%. And when you start something new, it's gonna be a challenge. If I wasn't looking for challenges, I'd still be just doing music. You know, I'm just never complacent in life. I'm always looking for new challenges, and I have no ceiling. It's the sky. When you're successful young, either you're gonna be bored or you're gonna look for greater and bigger things to do. So I tend to say, all right, I did it with two hands. Let me see if I could do it with one hand tied behind my back. Let me just see if I could do it like this, because these motherfuckers is soft. That's how I be seeing it. I haven't needed the support. I've been able to do it independent. It's better that way. And, you know, it just makes it where I get better at what I do and I get more experiences that people can learn from. And these are the things I want to monetize. That's what I want my life to be.
And I think it's just interesting because when you think of the popularity of Clubhouse, you had Block Savvy. Yeah. That was invite only.
Yeah, Block Savvy. I forgot. Damn, all right. Yeah,
that was Savvy. Like, you had in-app spending power. You had your own neighborhood. And I saw a lot of potential in that. And again, you being really futuristic with some concepts that are dominating popular culture now. So let's talk about Block Savvy and that time frame and how it plays into what you got going on now.
I mean, again, once we were aware of the internet, you know, I was just looking for ways to be ahead of the game and freedom. And, you know, we built our own environment. What we learned from that was that content was what they really wanted, you know. But it did so many different things that were better than, what was the thing that was out back then? The original... MySpace, right. You know, we saw the success of that. And, you know, that was the thing I had left. Because, you know, again, at the same time, I'm trying to build a fashion empire. The thing is, I always want to build things from the ground up. I'm always want to be a founder, you know. So it's hard, and I get inspired a lot. I get these ideas. And I know they're realistic ideas. They're logical. So I'll plant the seed, and I hope that someone in my crew could do it. If it's not something that's completely, you know, inspiring me or I'm having fun with. And usually I'm just ahead of the game, and it'd be a lot of times I'd be like, damn, I should have saw that through. But how much would I have enjoyed it? You know what I mean? I just want to have fun all day long. Like, I just want to never have to grow up.
Got it. Another thing that's in another category that you dabbled in was the luxury jewelry. You had the Tourette New York watch. I love the silhouette, the wide eggshell silhouette with the diamond bezel. Those were dope pieces. And again, you were like trying a little bit of everything. Was that space, you know, hard to navigate, knowing that, you know, you don't have a jewelry background, but you can spot luxury, you can spot flyness. You were already in the diamond district as a heavy player and a heavy shopper. Like, what was that transition like for you when you were doing the Tourette?
Well, that was more like understanding movement and watches and, you know, all that. It was I'm buying watches I'm learning from. I had a partner that was great. You know, it was expensive too. And it was a brand that was being built. Yes. Again, Tourette, it was funny, I brought it up to my daughter who had a Russian friend, and I was like, you know, Tourette means dash in Russian. And I think about that sometimes. I know how influential I was in the watch culture. It's funny, I see the games that the younger guys are playing in the industry, and I'm like, I started that game. But, you know, as far as understanding watches and this, that, and the third and movement and blah, 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 you know, I was the one that started educating everyone, and then I was done with it. You know what I mean? So a lot of watchmakers that are big now, I remember when they were just starting, you know, and knowing all the CEOs and all that stuff. But it's like I'll be inspired and I'll disengage and be into something else after I understand it and I'm done with it. Like right now, I just like Rolexes.
Got it.
I'm a Rolex guy.
And fire. So another thing that really inspired me to start my own sparkling wine company is what you did with Armandale, because you have Dusko whiskey, you have the Dusko Riesling, but I remember you came out with the Armandale. You were one of the first hip-hop moguls with a liquor deal. Like, you had your own liquor, the entire crew was promoting it, it was product placed in videos, the movies, it was a 360 approach. And getting into the wine category, like the wine and spirits category was like groundbreaking at the time. And what was that play like back then?
again, it's learning a new industry, you know, getting with partners and understanding, you know, if somebody owns 100% of something or they own 25% of something, they probably going to push the thing they own 100% of first, understanding distribution, all of it. And then I remember, like, you know, teaching certain moguls about the liquor game, and then they go and do it, and I'm happy for them, you know? Shit like that.
Got it.
It's like I might start an industry because I know I influence a lot of people that have power, and I might say, okay, here's an idea. I might do it a little, and I'll be like, yo, y'all go do it. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll come back because it's a lot of work starting an industry.
Got it. And then from my experience with my wine, it was like you got to really have wholesale money. It's not like you can just go to the distributor or the manufacturer, make me 3 cases of this variety.
Well,
like,
it's not only that, you got to get that real estate. You know, you got to taste things and give a shit. I mean, you know, it's a rough business. Every state has different rules. It's a complex business. It really is.
It is. And then going back to the content, while Paid in Full is the classic that everybody, you know, keeps you synonymous to, you have a lot of classics like a Backstage. I've always wondered, like, where's all that B-roll? And is that something that you can monetize to put like a Backstage, you know, 25 years?
I got everything. I got everything. And I feel like revisiting that shit. I just gotta, you know, the past for me to revisit means I gotta have nothing to do, because my future occupies me. You know what I mean? So if I wasn't doing shit, yeah, I'd do that. But it's like I'm so excited about the new shit, and the old shit is like it wasn't things that I was trying to get away from. You know what I mean? So now that I'm away from it, I'm not trying to revisit it. You know what I'm saying? It'd be like, because I gotta feel those emotions and that anxiety, you know, that of being young again, that I don't want to feel anymore. That's why I got out of that shit. But definitely, at some point, I will revisit all of that.
Got it. That's dope. And I know you had talked about a biopic on the whole rock story as well. So I'm assuming it's the same sentiment. Like, you'll get to it when you get to it.
Yeah, I'll get to it when I get to it. I'm having too much fun right now.
No worries.
Shit. I'm going to get to it.
Got it. And then in terms of where do you see DDT evolving as we go into, like, we're still in 2021, but where do you see the brand, the content, the studio evolving? This is on steroids with the app experience and the consumer journey, but like, where do you see it going in the next 2-3 years?
2 or 3 weeks. March 1st, we're launching DTV linear television in Atlanta, LA, and Charleston. So, you know, cable television is next. So there'll be DTV and there'll be Dame Dash Studios. One's the app, one's the television network. It's sort of like Netflix owns Netflix, but they also own Stars. So, you know, just going into that realm and evolving and being 100%, making bigger movies constantly, all the ancillary things, the cartoons and the toys and the video games. Basically, I'm chasing Disney. I'm making my own Star Wars, all that shit. Huh?
So what does your day-to-day look like in terms of, like, you know, managing these 2 big entities, and you're launching this in March because, you know, you're now engaged, you just had baby Dusko a couple months ago. Like,
I can tell you.
Give us a day in the life right now.
It looks like around 11 o'clock, I have a meeting with the heads of the company and Raquel. Like, I'm more of a chairman, Rocky's more the CEO. We talk about everything that we were supposed to do that we didn't do, and everything that we need to do, scheduling, content, editing, all of that. And then Rocky has another meeting with the rest of the crew. And then that's how we do it day to day. Then I go work out, and then I eat, then I get a massage, then I walk the dogs, and throughout that day I play with Dusko. And that's why actually I got to wrap this up. Sorry, because I got to take, because at 3 or 4, from like 4, because that's when one of the nannies leave, is me till like 7, 8, you know, and if there's no night nurse, it's 4 to the rest of the day until he gets to sleep intense with the baby. Okay. You know,
no worries,
I'm usually working from my house. This is literally my first day out in 3 months, 4 months since the baby been born. You know what I mean?
Dope. So I'll wrap it up with 2 quick questions. In terms of like the music, You've known Cam a long time, and this is just a curious question for me because I'm such a fan of you and Cam. When Cam has this one style, and then when he's putting together Purple Haze, he has some lyrics like keep computers queuing, and then like his style changed going into Purple Haze. Being one of the CEOs of rock, like what is the vibe when he's playing you these new joints and his style is like completely going another way? Like what's the vibe?
I never thought about it like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I never was like, I didn't really even notice that at all. You know, I'm a curator. Like I'm an art gallery. I let the artists do what they do. I ain't got no say so in none of that shit. It's, you know, to me, an artist supposed to do what makes them feel good. It doesn't matter what makes other people feel good. And you know, I never got into the creative aspect ever.
Got it. And then lastly, what is the legacy you want to leave behind? Besides, you know, passing everything forward in terms of your entrepreneur efforts, but the Dame Dash legacy, how does it read? Or how would you want it to read?
I mean, I don't know. It might not read. You're going to see it. You know, it's going to be in billboards and shit and movies and all that. Just the truth of who I am. You know, all I really care about is my family, man. You know, and that's it. As long as my family, my generations will show what I did, because their lives will definitely be way better than mine. You know, so as long as my last name, that's a dash, and the family name still represents aspiration and independence and wealth, because it's still independent, aspirational and wealthy, then I did my job. My grandkids and my grandkids, like the Kennedys, you know, and other families, the Roosevelts and shit like that, you're gonna hear it like that. Rockefellers, the Dashes. You know what I mean? And not for no bubblegum shit, for being a well-versed, strong family that affected culture in a great way. You know what I'm saying? Like a Rothschild, but like without all the conspiracy and the good shit. You know what I mean? Like the good you know, with the good shit. Not in a bad way, but you know, the family names that go for centuries. You know?
Got it. Cool. And then anything else that you want to just plug or just mention before we sign off?
You know, I think we plugged, pause, Dame Dash Studios. You can go to it. I think we initially, the first couple of days, we did DameDashStudios.com, but now all the apps are starting to come up. So did the other one come up yet?
I don't think so.
No? So you know, the apps, they'll be in the app stores like today or tomorrow, hopefully. But you go to Dame Dash Studios and get it. Look for all the original programming and all the things we're doing. Check OSG. Check the commission. You know, movies, magazines, books, curriculums, you know, music, concerts. Go check my album out. My rock and roll album, Black Guns. The name of the album is Theory. Go check it on Spotify or whatever now. And that's that, B. And, you know, I appreciate all the support. I'm glad that I can inspire you in the right way. And, you know, again, the only way to show appreciation for me talking is to actually do it. And if y'all doing it, I love that. So thank you for that, too.
Yo, my pleasure, bro. And me and you are connected in a way that you probably wouldn't even know. My girl was Aaliyah's product manager. She was with her.
Wow.
So it was crazy. Like I don't know if you can see this, but it has the date.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah,
real.
So I've always looked up to you, and it's crazy that we're meeting this way, but, like, I've always felt connected to you in terms of, like, you hustling and you get into it. It's always been like that. So, again, when we opened up the interview, I meant it. Like, yo, you inspired me to go get it. So, like, and then all my clients, I tell them, like, yo, put your own money up.
Always.
That's, like, my favorite thing to tell people. Put your own money up. That way nobody can tell you how to move.
Exactly.
And that's something that I always, you know, coach people through. And, you know, I'm happy for you, bro. I'm really super happy for you. And, you know, I just look forward to seeing what's next from you.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We'll definitely keep talking. I got a lot more things to launch.
Thank you, bro. Good luck.
All right, bro.
No, I know you got to get to it. Take care, bro.
My man. You ready? Sorry about that.